Alright, what have I said to you that you've been making Rainbow Six Siege harder than it has to be? I'm going to give you 5 tips in this video that will instantly make you play better. These are not like things you have to practice every single day to slowly improve and slowly improve. These are 5 things that you can start doing in your next game to instantly have better games and win more games, essentially. First tip I'm going to give you applies to every single round that you defend on every single map, and it's to shoot the glass off of windows. Every single window in the game, I'll show you on the hooker window. Every single window in the game has glass on the other side of it. Like that, the glass there. And that glass actually fully blocks sound out. So if anybody repels on that window when the glass is on the window, you can't hear that as a defender. So if you don't shoot the glass off the window, you're putting yourself at a disadvantage without realizing. And all you have to do to shoot the glass off the window is to shoot the window 6 times with a pistol or with any low caliber gun like a SMG bullet. But there's one thing you have to make sure when you do this. When you shoot open the glass off the window, you can't do it like this. Because obviously, yes, it shoots the glass off the window. Yes, it'll get the sound if somebody repels, but it makes a big hole in the window that somebody can peek their little head through and get a kill on somebody that's not expecting it on sight. So the way that you want to actually do this is simply shoot the window 6 times, but shoot it in different places. So the way that I do is I go bottom left, bottom right, middle left, middle right. Like that, and you see the glass break, you can hear the glass break as well. So it's simple as that. Now the attackers can't see through, but if anybody repels, you'll actually be able to hear them repel. If you have situations in game where you're dying to people that are on repels, but you don't hear them get on repel, that will be the reason why, because it 100% blocks the sound off. If you want me to make a full guide on how you can abuse sound mechanics in Siege to rank up and win more games, then drop a comment down below saying that's what you want, and I'll show more tips like that, because I know a lot for sound, a lot of ways to manipulate sound to make it more in your favour. Now the next thing that I'm going to show you is actually a setting in game, and it's something that you need to make sure you have this setting enabled, and I'm going to show you exactly where it is now. So if you go to options, accessibility, and it's right there, shake intensity, you want to make sure this is turned off. By default, it's on default obviously, but you want to make sure it's turned off, because what this does is it makes, every time there's an explosion, it'll make your screen shake like that. My screen does not shake at all when that explosion goes off, but if I was standing near that like that when that blew up, my screen would be doing backflips. And when you're trying to aim and your screen's doing a backflip, like it makes it less reliable, like it makes it more inconsistent, your aim, because you're having to like, your vision's getting blurred, your focus is getting knocked because your screen's doing backflips when you're trying to shoot. So just make sure you have that setting turned off, and it'll make you have better, more consistent aim. Now the next thing I'm going to talk about is how you should be going about fighting different angles and how you should be holding angles. And the main thing I want to talk about right now is pixel peeking. You want to make sure that every angle you hold is a pixel peek, like this, or like this, because I mean, in simple terms, it makes your hitbox smaller. In simple terms, why would you want to make your hitbox bigger? Why would you want the enemy to have your full body to see to shoot, when you can just give them like a pixel to shoot? So like that's what you need to think about. You need to make sure you're as hard to hit as possible by holding pixel peeks like this. Obviously, you'll sit and see this angle and be like, oh well, that's impossible to hit this shot when somebody's sprinting past. But it's the way you play around them. Like pixel peeks like this are mainly for information. You're going to get the information that someone's crossed. Maybe if you know someone's 90 and they're going to cross this way, for example, you can hold this pixel, see when they're crossing, just start wall banging. Or if somebody's crossing from this way, like from the top white stairs coming towards 90, you can sort of see them crossing and just swing out like that in pre-fire, like because you have full info on where they are. So it's just a good way of safely getting info. Like obviously, you don't if you can hit the shot. Obviously, if you can hit the shot, then go for it. But the way that I like to do is I'll sort of peek, like have like a really tight pixel peek, see the info, somebody crossing, start wallbanging, or like start swinging, and it just makes it safer, like rather than just holding an angle like this where you can get just pre-fired off the angle. One thing I want to add to pixel peeks though is make sure you hold the pixel peek from as far away as possible, because the closer you are to the door, if I'm standing right on this door trying to hold a pixel peek, my head is right in the door, my head is massive. And if I go all the way back here and hold that same pixel peek, my head is a lot smaller because of the way perspectives work and the distance from the angle. So just make sure you bear that in mind as well. Alright, so the 4th tip I'm going to give you is actually how to one-hit vault through barricades. You might think they removed this a while ago, which they did, but you can still do it if you do it, like you have to add as an extra step onto it basically. What you want to do is you want to come to the X on the barricade and aim like right in the middle of this X here, like the top left of the X here, and just hit it like that, and you'll see 3. You know you've done it right if 3 of the panels have came off, and then all you want to do is shoot one of the panels twice, and then you can vault straight through.
spotted.
Doing this is a lot quicker than it's a lot quicker than doing like this, than just hitting it twice and vaulting through. The time it takes to do that compared to hitting it once and shooting it and vaulting through, it's like the split second that you have to gain like an edge on the enemy. If you sit there punching a barricade twice and then vaulting through, or punching a barricade 3 times, waiting for it to destroy and then running through, the attacker, the defender, or whoever you're fighting has a lot of time to respond to that. Like they have a lot of time to process the information. However, if you just quickly punching and vaulting through, especially when you're trying to get a quick entry onto the building, it's just like it just saves so much time. Like doing that is so long. Now, one thing to add to that, you don't just have to you don't have to get the melee perfect, because that's something you would have to practice eventually, like, to get it perfect every time, the punch. That's something you would pretty much have to practice. What you can do is make sure is just like shoot it like that so it looks the same, like there's 3 panels gone, and then do the same thing. The way that you can kind of think about it is it's kind of like a sort of damage, like damage on the window. As long as there's 3 panels, there's basically 3 panels and then a little bit gone, you can just fall straight through. So obviously shooting it like that's a lot longer, but that's just sort of to explain how it actually works in terms of like the damage on the window, on the barricade. Now the final tip that I'm going to give you is not actually a gameplay tip, but it's something you should be thinking about when you're going into games and when you're going into gunfights. And this is actually a way of thinking that I picked up from a pro player, or an ex-pro player called Meepy. And basically what he used to say on his live streams was never take a fair gunfight. Which it does what it says on the tin. You never want to take a gunfight where you have an equal chance of winning as losing. You want to take gunfights where you have the upper hand in every kind of possible time you can. So, like, what I mean is, if there's an enemy trying to push in here, you don't want to take a 50-50, like, just swinging them. You don't want to take a 50-50, you want to have, like, gadgets maybe on a thorn trap when he comes in the door. And then you can just kind of play passive. When he comes through the door, pops the thorn trap, he turns around, and then you swing him. You have the upper hand in that gunfight. You want to try and play around things like that to make sure you have the upper hand, and that's something you can be doing like straight away, like as soon as you hop onto your next game. Start thinking about like only taking gunfights where you have the upper hand. Obviously you can't do that all the time. You can't. There's always going to be situations where people get the upper hand on you. There's always going to be situations where you get caught off guard. But if you can like minimize them times and make it so you have as many possibilities to have like the upper hand in a gunfight, it just makes it so much easier to win more gunfights, obviously, and boost your stats, boost your wins. So yeah, that's all I'm going to go through for this video. If you enjoyed, drop a like, and I'll see you in the next video.